Hey everyone, welcome to the February 2026 Homebuyer Workshop. And I am really excited today to be answering so many questions that I'm currently getting from my buyers in the marketplace. And you know what? I hope that this helps you because I'm getting it time and time again, which must mean it's in your mind as well. So let's start with rates. Have the rates dropped enough to jump into the market? Y'all, the rates are never going to go back to what you really want them to be in the first place. You're not getting those COVID rates anymore. And I've said it so many times in the past. So, what I need you to do is think of two things in order to get the rate that you want. The first thing is, well, y'all just have to go with new construction that's offering you that 4 point something rate if you use their lender. All right. So that is one option that is available to you. New construction and using their lender. It's not going to be on every single home. It's not even going to be on every single neighborhood by the same builder. Rate options on homes will vary by neighborhood, by home in that neighborhood. Typically, builders are offering really low rate incentives on homes that have been sitting or homes that are due to close soon and don't have a buyer attached to them. So those rate incentives are going to be neighborhood specific and house specific. So it's not going to be for everything in a home. I have an example of somebody who's looking at a neighborhood, and the first thing that the builder said to me when I called them and asked about what's available or whatnot, the builder said, "Oh, we have this 4 point whatever it was rate 25, I think it was, on these two homes." And I'm like, "Only on those two?" "Yes." "Well, because they are closing in March and we want them sold." "Okay, fine. But my client's looking to close in like May, June." "Oh, we're not offering any rate incentives on those." So those homes are available to purchase. And my client might end up falling in love with one that is backing up to the woods, the right direction, all the good stuff, right? Enough yard. Let's say it's like perfect in every way. But my buyer may hesitate on moving forward with it because they're not getting the incentive rate that they know the neighborhood is offering on other houses. They may opt to wait for that incentive rate to come out and miss the opportunity to get that specific home on that specific lot. Y'all, rates hold people back in so many ways. And I got to say, not to your benefit. It has been hurting people left and right because they are missing out on so many opportunities that they could have moved forward with. So if you really want that 4 point something rate, it's out there for the getting in the new construction world if you want it on a specific home in a specific neighborhood. Okay, so that is one way to get the rate. If that's the only way you're moving forward, there you go. You have an option. The other way is to buy the rate down. You can do that yourself by buying the rate down, or you can ask the seller for a credit to help you buy the rate down. Now, when the home is in a popular location with lots of interest, you requesting that credit is going to take your offer and kick it down on the list, because what we're seeing here in the Cary area, those popular homes, the ones that have only been on the market a few days, that have a lot of interest, don't need to buy your business. That's what giving you a special rate is, right? It's buying your business. It's paying you to buy the house, giving you $10,000 to buy the rate down, whatever the case may be. They don't have to do that. And if you're going to continue to wait for the rates to come down, you might be missing out on that perfect home, on that perfect lot, in that perfect location. So, are rates ever going to be exactly where you want them to be? My bet is no, because I see the rates continually fluctuating. And even my lenders tell me, "Nina, look, it is good where it's at. We're going to see it go up and down. Y'all are waiting for the big drop. You might just miss out." I'm letting you know now. It's a harsh reality. I've given you some options for moving forward. If you want them, let me know. I can help you find those opportunities. So rate's the one thing holding people back. Still can't believe it. COVID's not coming back. Those COVID rates, Not coming back. Lord, I hope COVID's not coming back, but those rates certainly aren't coming back. Let's move on. The next thing that I am having to remind buyers of all the time, and these are people who hear it from me on the nonstop regular basis. Just a reminder, when you get that inspection report, you and I, you're the buyer, I'm your agent, are going to review it in detail. We're even going to have a review call with the inspector so that we fully understand it. But you know what? When we go over and we come up with your list of things that you would love to have repaired by the seller or a credit for instead of them doing the repairs, that's a request. It's not a mandate. Sellers really are not obligated to make repairs. And I'm having a hard time with buyers forgetting that. They kind of feel like, well, I offered this amount. Aren't I entitled to? Lord, there was a lot in that statement. You offered an amount with the expectation that you were going to get credit. Again, if this is a popular home in a popular location that had multiple, parties interested in it, no, the seller in North Carolina, unfortunately, is not obligated to make the repairs. So we just have to continually set our expectations accordingly, not assume that we're going to get anything, and really adjust, because I am seeing sellers offering more credits for things. Oh, guys, let's just pause for a moment and talk about the one area that people really get hung up on, and that is the crawl space. So your general inspector will go into the crawl space and find, they have to call it bacterial growth or something growth on the beams in the crawl space, okay? And you want to call it mold. Nobody can call it mold unless it's been tested and called mold. But regardless of what that situation is, the inspector will note some other things like, previous, perhaps, or there's a lot of what if kind of sort of words in the inspection, because inspectors have to protect themselves. They can't give a definite answer on things. They're saying there could have been previous, water seepage in this corner or that sort of thing, whatever the case may be. Your next step as a buyer is to bring in a crawl space expert. My crawl space expert is Ben Peru. I love that man. I know that he knows his stuff. He is with Remediation and Consulting Services. Freaking phenomenal. I trust him. I trust him with all my heart. With my children, I trust him. The man is that trustworthy. He's not a salesperson. He or one of his partners that he works with, his son or somebody else, will go into the crawl space and inspect it and come up with an estimate and a full detailed itemized list of what needs to be done to treat the crawl space. Now, this is where we get into some trouble. Now, you're sitting here with one inspection report from the inspector pointing out could have been potential water seepage. Is there still? We don't know. Could have been, whatever the situation may be that caused this growth to happen on the beams in the crawl space. And then Ben comes in with his recommendations to scrub and clean, treat, new vapor barrier. Maybe they recommend dehumidifier, sealing, not sealing the crawl space. Whatever the case may be, the recommendations come out. And so my buyers are expecting all of that to be done by the seller. But first of all, they're not obligated to do anything in North Carolina. Second of all, what I'm seeing is, and I always try to prepare my buyers for this, sellers are paying for many times the remediation portion. So the portion where scrubbing and cleaning and get rid of the growth, and maybe putting down a new vapor barrier, but they're not going to pay for, please listen and look, upgrades with my air quotes, okay? When we say upgrades, things like a dehumidifier is going to benefit the person going forward, long-standing for the house. French drains, those are things that benefit you now as the new homeowner going forward. They're treating the problem, the immediate thing, which is the growth, maybe the vapor barrier, but they're not going to pay for the upgrades. So that's, again, an expectation that we have to have and not an assumption to make that it will be done. So that's really important that you kind of understand how a seller tends to look at a report like that. And you know what? Their agent's telling them that too. Their agent is telling them that you, of course, are not obligated, seller, to do this or that. It would be in your best interest to get these items cleaned and taken care of, because if you don't for this buyer, you're going to have to do it for the next one, or your house may not sell until you get this done. And to be honest, with certain things, you want to get it done no matter what, because it's still your home until it's sold, and you should want it to be in good condition, unless the thing's falling down, which I don't run into very much here. So inspection expectations and assumptions, especially around crawl space reports and invoice estimates, y'all, sellers, again, just not obligated. And not only that, but they might do some and not all, and they certainly are not taking care of the upgrades. So that's a big one. That's been like a heavy one lately. I don't know if it's just because the season's changing, how much snow we've had, different things. I mean, like craziness. Crawl spaces have been a hot topic. I have been keeping Ben very happily busy, or maybe not happily, but busy. So yeah, I have somebody who I trust. So if you get something on your inspection report, know that Ben is going to be there to take care of you the right way, not overselling, just the right way. And then we take it from there. All right, so the other thing about inspections, and one thing that kind of stinks, is that buyers are really frustrated with the residential property disclosure, in which a seller is answering the age of, I'm going to use the roof as an example. And the seller may not know the exact age of the roof. It might have been 2 owners ago, and it hasn't been passed down that year. When it was done, it hasn't been passed down from person to person, homeowner to homeowner. So now the seller fills it out without a date in there. And that does 2 things. So the buyer now is not feeling great about, well, how old is that roof? You know, like, am I going to need a new roof soon? The inspector can't really tell you what age the roof is. They're guesstimating, giving you, a roundabout age of the roof, not for certain whatsoever. But you know why you as a home buyer need to know it? Your homeowner's insurance. There are certain cases many cases, in which insurance now is just not covering a roof older than 10 years, which is insane, because many of the roof warranties are at least 30 years or roundabout there or more. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is there are going to be times when you're not going to know the age of the roof, and it's going to frustrate you, but there's nothing we can do about it. And your inspector is just giving you a guess, but your homeowner's insurance is going to want a year. Now, does that mean that the seller is obligated to replace the roof? No. Does that mean you're going to be obligated to replace the roof? That's going to be your choice once you own the house, and how it affects your insurance and so forth. If it's a pretty crappy roof, I mean, come on, you should plan something down the road to repair it. If there's no leak, leave it for a few years and then go ahead and replace it if you need to. But you need to at least have this knowledge that roof age is not always known. Sellers are not even obligated to have that information. It's great when they do. They're not. And then if you have the roof age, it's going to help you with your homeowner's insurance. It could hurt. It could hurt as well, because they might tell you, oh, it's 12 years old and they don't insure it. I'm not getting into the insurance side. If you want to talk to an insurance person, I have a great person for you to speak with. This person is a broker, and they are able to shop around different types of insurance companies and find the one that will cover your roof. Okay? So roof It's a hot topic right now. Now we're getting into the spring season. And what does spring season mean? Well, people are going to be coming around and assessing for storm damage, hail damage, and that sort of thing. So sometimes I just had a seller recently after the homeowner inspection said, hey, you have like a potential leak here or there. They had a roofing person out to take a look at these potential leaks. And the homeowner's roofing company said, actually, you know what? You actually have a few bigger leaks that they didn't even know wasn't coming into the house or anything like that. Part of the attic they would have never accessed. And it was due to storm damage, wind damage, not even hail damage. So they were able to get the roof replaced through their homeowner's insurance before closing. So the buyers made out fantastic with getting a new roof because of the storm damage. So 'tis the season for insurance companies to be walking around drawing circles on your roof with chalk so that they can claim that you have storm damage. You might. And then your insurance company is going to have to come out and assess whether or not it truly is and whether or not it will be covered by your homeowner's insurance. That's if you're on the seller side. Sorry, I jumped into the seller side for a moment. So buyers, you're taking a little bit of a gamble. And again, sellers are not obligated to replace a roof. Sorry. It just stinks when you're on the buy side in North Carolina because so much more is protecting the seller than protecting you. I say it all the time. I have a whole video about it. It stinks to be a buyer in North Carolina. You should go watch it. Now, the last thing that has been a hot topic right now, back to weather, is drainage and flood zones and all the things. I'm telling you, a lot of people are scarred after all of the flood damage from 2025, like scarred. People are just remembering all of the water, all the stuff. Now, the reason I want to bring this up is that if you are looking at new construction, okay, more so in new construction than these homes that were built here in the 90s in Cary, as I look around my neighborhood, you're going to get what we call swales, all right? So your house is sitting up here or flat, whatever you want to call it, but then the land really does slope down on the sides. And it does it on all the houses. So they create like these gullies for the water to run down and then drain all the way into the backs of the yards. Most of the times it's not the front of the yards. And then you'll see another of the swales between the backyards coming together. And then you'll see like sewer drains, right? Like stormwater runoff drains in the backyards. And this is very common now with the new construction. Storm water prevention, acknowledgement, all of that is really, really front and center. So my buyers, as many times as I'm trying to explain, these swales are there to take the water away and run into the stormwater catch basins, are nervous. They see this and they're worried. You know who should be worried? All of us sitting here in these 90s houses that don't have the swales, that don't have the designated place for the water to collect in and run off to and then drain off to in the backyard. We're the ones who are having to install more French drains than anybody around because there might be water that accumulates in crawl spaces and so forth. I'm not saying it's all the houses, so don't go in the comments and go crazy on it. My point is that if you have a swale, know it's to your benefit. You don't need to panic. It's something very good. And if you're the one, it happens, where the storm water drain is in your backyard, it is going to affect your ability for fencing that portion, as well as the landscaping around it, because you can't block it from the water being able to go in. If it's on your property, there are going to be restrictions. So there you have it. It's what I have for you today. A lot of stuff that I keep getting asked about on a regular basis because, It's still fresh on people's minds, things that people just are having a hard time accepting. Those rates, man, y'all are having a hard time with that. And just assumptions and expectations. We have to adjust accordingly right now. And now that I'm seeing what's happening here in Cary, like houses flying off the market in a couple days and multiple offers again, y'all, spring is here. It is only the second Wednesday of February. And I can tell you, I see those daffodils coming out of the ground. I see spring sprunging. And I'm telling you right now, it is happening in the market. If you need protection, if you need a buyer agent, I am definitely your gal. I am all over the education side of it. I am all over making sure that I'm protecting you as much as possible. So be sure to contact me through the links below or to, send me a DM, anything you want to do. But trust me, I protect my buyers like nobody else. And you can speak to any of my past clients and they will tell you, Nina knows her shit. All right. So there you have it for today. And I look forward to seeing you on the next buyer workshop, which is going to be the second Wednesday of March. If you are a seller, be sure to tune in to the fourth Wednesday of the month, and I will host a seller workshop. All right. Thanks so much. And I can't wait to see you at the next one.